Hey, what's up? My name is Bim. Welcome to Geek Out, and this is Lost Castle. Lost Castle is a action RPG with a lot of roguelike elements, developed by a Chinese developer, Hunter Studios, and published by an indie game publisher, another indie. It's gotten a lot of positive reviews on Steam as of this recording. They have 4,162 very positive reviews. Now, what it is essentially a lot like Rogue Legacy, where you go in as one character, and when you die, you have to give up some currency to get better stats, and then you're revived as a different character. So it's a lot like that, but it focuses a lot less on the platforming and more on just raw combat. And it's an interesting game because it has sold over 160,000 copies in China. And why that's interesting is because China has always been thought of as a free to play market, like solely or mostly a free to play market. But Lost Castle is not a free to play game. You pay about, right now on Steam, it's about 319.95 pesos, 320 pesos, so like $8, $9, something like that. I guess it goes on sale every now and then, but still, 160,000 copies in China is not a small deal. Lost Castle is, again, an action RPG, which when you start, when you've got like the base stats, is actually quite difficult to play because you've got nothing. You've got your weapons, and you've got the very lowest possible stats that you can have as you start the game. And when you do co-op, the developers say that it makes the game even harder just because there's two of you already. So it amps up the difficulty a little bit. In the game, you get to collect a bunch of items. So there's the regular fruit, which gives you extra life, not extra life, but extra health. There's some food which gives you a little more health. I think there is an item, a banana, where you eat it and you throw away the peel. If you step on the peel, you fall. It's like a hit stun. And you've got like 50 plus potions in the game, and the potions are always random. And in my experience playing this game, I find that it's almost never worth it to drink the potions because they're almost always negative in effect. There is one potion that gives you diarrhea and you start pooping, and every few steps that you take or every few seconds you poop, and when you poop you're locked into place for like half a second or so. There's also an effect where you get poisoned and you lose your life over time. There's also an effect where you lose money over time, and the currency that you need to improve your character with over time. There are positives like health over time, +1 to attack, higher speed, that kind of thing. But I almost never see those. So I guess if maybe the farther you get into the game, the better the potions are. But so far with my experience, it's always a crapshoot. There are 100 weapon styles in the game, and about 50 armor styles. But there are only really a few weapon archetypes, and each archetype will give you a different attack and movement option. So from what I've seen, and I think as you play the game, more archetypes are unlocked and more items are unlocked. So, but from what I've seen the shotgun, a wand which casts like short range, mid range projectile of different elements, bow and arrow, heavy sword, double-handed melee weapons, and spears. So my favorite so far has been the double-handed melee. Its attack is a very quick combo attack, very short range, and the movement option is just a straightforward dash. It just dashes forward, which is the most basic thing. But I find that being able to attack more often puts you at an advantage because the enemies, when they get hit stun, and it keeps them from killing you. So I found that to be pretty interesting. And the jumping attack with the double-handed melee weapon kind of makes you do a spin thing, and that seems to have a pretty wide hitbox. So you're able to take out a lot more things doing the jump attack. The shotgun, for example, is a mid-range ranged attack, lower in damage, I think, than most heavy melee weapons. But you stay away from your enemies, so you're a little safer. The movement option for the shotgun is to just jump back, like you're avoiding an attack. The wand, so as I mentioned earlier, you cast spells, you do like fireballs or ice balls or whatever, and the movement option is to kind of teleport, like Nightcrawler. Short teleport, nothing crazy. Bow and arrow. Oh, the bow and arrow doesn't have um, a movement option. Instead, it has a combo for the you fire one bow and then one arrow, then another arrow, then you fire three. The movement button, instead of a movement attack or movement option, the archer fires like a powered up arrow. And every time you die, the character changes, like the hair, and I see it seems like the gender also changes. I'm not sure, but the hairstyle, the hair color, it changes. So you see, like, every time you're resurrected, you're a different person. The sword is slow, but it hits hard, and the movement option for that is to charge it up. And if you charge it up long enough, you do like a whirlwind attack. The spear is actually pretty cool. It's probably my second favorite. You do a quick combo, three or four stabs, and with a knockdown at the end. The movement option is like a quick flip up, and at the end of the flip, you are in the middle of your jump, like a mid-air kind of thing. So it allows you to do another attack after that, which you get to do the jumping attack. And the dungeons are always randomly generated, which means there's no way for you to be able to memorize any patterns. I mean, there will be some things that repeat, like some elements that are similar to what you've experienced before, but they're never really in the same order or pattern. And much like Rogue Legacy, every time you die, you're taken to a screen to improve your character. Now, to improve your character, you collect the currency in Lost Castle. It's soul, and every time you collect soul, or at the end of each life, all the soul you've collected can be spent to improve your power, your attack speed. I think also defense, your life, your walk speed, etc., and some other perks like being able to choose your weapon at the very start. After you wake up from the dungeon, you get to pick between two other weapons, something like that. And every time you buy a stat increase, the price for the other stats also increases. So let's say the attack, the extra health, the extra defense, walk speed, they all cost 27 soul. I decided to go for attack, so I buy attack. Now the cost for all those four in the same bracket, in the same line, goes up. It's all now just 30. So if I want that +1 defense, I will have to be able to get 30 soul in my next playthrough, just so I could buy that stat. And so you have to keep doing better and better in every game for you to be able to improve. And if you don't, the currency doesn't collect, it doesn't accumulate. So when you die, for you to be able to resurrect, you're gonna have to sacrifice the soul that you've accumulated. So much like Rogue Legacy. And there may be something like Rogue Legacy where you can sacrifice only a portion of your soul, but so far I haven't encountered that. I've been sacrificing like all of it, so you have to be able to do well and you have to do better than the last time that you did, just to be able to improve and progress through the game. I know. I think it's a really nice, like I would say, laptop game. It's something that you should be able to carry around on your laptop. The specs that you need to run it are very low, like a 1.6 gigahertz processor, 2 gig RAM, GeForce 8800, or a Radeon HD 4800. Only 512 MB memory, graphics, and storage of 600 MB. So very light. It's something that you could probably install it in your work laptop, and it's something you play when you're bored. And it's very addictive, and the combat is fluid, and the enemies are difficult and challenging, and there are multiple enemy archetypes that challenge you in different ways. You have to figure out the pattern. I haven't gotten very far. I think I've gotten only to the second area, which is a forest, and I think there's a total of 5 areas all in all. So until I get to those bits, I won't be able to comment on them really. So anyway, this has been Lost Castle, and this has been Bim. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.